Hello, friends. Welcome back to our Lockdown Life Hack series. I'm Rohini, and the topic we are going to discuss today is how to deal with anxiety. This is a question which has come up so many times during this lockdown period. So, let us see 5 hacks today to deal with anxiety. First and foremost, before we go to the 5 hacks, let us understand what is anxiety. So anxiety, my friends, is something which we worry about, which we're very anxious about or nervous about, and we feel that the outcome may be something bad. So to give you an example, if somebody is reaching home late, if somebody is later to come home than their normal time, what is our first instinct? We feel, I hope something bad hasn't happened to this person, or we feel, I hope he or she isn't in an accident. So, our mind is such a mechanism to protect ourselves. It first only thinks in negative terms. So, naturally, we think negatively. So, we need to bring ourselves to think about something positive, to think about a positive outcome. So that is where our anxiety stems from, this fear, this worry, this nervousness, this expecting the worst out of a particular situation about um, uh, about which we are not certain. you know that is what really brings out that anxiety within us. So why has this surfaced during this lockdown period? So we do not understand this new virus, this COVID-19 coronavirus. We do not understand this is an alien. This is a new thing for all of us, and it is scary. And world over, it has really taken so many lives, and we do understand that it is something dangerous, something we don't understand. So now what has happened? One thing is it has started creating a lot of, because of the lockdown especially, a lot of people are anxious about losing their jobs. Some people have lost their jobs, some people do not have work. Some people who worked on daily wages or who were in people business are now really worried and really anxious about their survival. So that is one thing. Another thing is, another biggest scare is the coronavirus itself. So every time some people are very anxious about going out. Everyone they meet, they just feel, they're looking at every person they meet or every person around them very suspiciously, because of the fear of uh, getting that virus themselves, getting affected by it. So these are some areas where we are getting affected right now, which is causing anxiety in a lot of us. So how do we deal it at the most initial stages? So if one is really at the uh, really advanced stage, I'll discuss this discuss this later. Advanced stage is basically something if we cannot handle on our own level, then it is best to really consult a doctor and get help, because too much of anxiety can lead to depression. And anxiety, my friends, can be really dealt with at your level. So let us see how can you deal with anxiety. So the first and foremost point is, first is, face the anxiety. Now either you may be the person who is feeling anxious, or maybe you are dealing with a family member who is very anxious. Either way, please face the anxiety. Do not try to brush it under the carpet. Do not try to say, oh, you're just acting up, or do not please take it lightly, too lightly. If a person is expressing too much worry, if a person is really anxious about being affected by the virus, in spite of all the precautions that they are taking, please speak to that person. If you are that person, then please speak to someone in your own family or your own friend circle, or even to yourself. If you're living alone, there are some people who are stranded alone. I understand that. So even if you are alone, in that case, your pen and paper, my friends, is your best friend. So please write down, what is it? What am I anxious about? Yeah, why am I anxious? What am I exactly feeling? So, first and foremost is face this anxiety. So, what am I feeling? Just see what's happening in your body. What is it making you feel like? What is your worry? please note it all down or discuss it. Simply saying, I am scared, I feel I might be affected by the coronavirus, and then I may be taken for quarantine, and I may not see my family, I may die. Whatever comes to your mind, please speak it out, because when you speak it out, you let it out of your system. And that is the reason why you need to either speak it out or write it down. So once you have faced what your anxiety is, then the next step is breathe. Literally breathe. Because why, when do you feel anxious? Like, let me give you one very small example. There is a room which is comparatively dark. You enter the room, from outside light there is a slight visibility, very very slight visibility, so you can't see very clearly, but something you can just make out that something's there. Now there is a snake like thing lying. You see a snake in the room and you're very anxious and you start feeling breathless, and you really panic. You feel very anxious and you're really afraid that the snake is going to attack you. Then somebody comes in and switches on the light, and you see it's a rope. Many times anxiety does exactly this to us. Many times it is probably just a rope, and we perceive it as a snake. And all that we really needed to do was switch on that light and breathe. So, what happens is when we become anxious, when we are so much out of our control, when we fear for our life, or when we fear something, some situation, we start breathing very shallow. Our breathing becomes very shallow, and something grips our heart. We feel as if something's gripped my heart. So, see how you're breathing. And please take long, deep breaths to calm yourself down. That will definitely bring down your level of anxiety. So, first is really face it and then breathe. Literally breathe. Deep breathe. Okay, that brings us to a third point, which is again, as when we are anxious, we expect the worst. Instead of expecting the worst, let us expect the best outcome. That would be my third point. So whenever we face this situation, or especially to talk about these times when we are going through this COVID-19 situation or this lockdown period, even whether whatever the condition of our job status, whatever the condition of the virus, let us expect the best outcome. It is not really going to matter what we expect, the best or the worst, in reality. What affects us is what happens in our own head first. So, if we expect the best outcome, then we are in a much better position to deal with it. When we are expecting the best outcome, we help ourselves to panic less, feel that anxiety lesser. And then what happens is we come to the fifth point is we come to the fourth point, which is feel more in control. So when we expect the best outcome, we feel more in control. When we are more in control, we can do anything, right? So just imagine when you probably started driving for the very first time. Weren't you anxious of the traffic, of the road, whether you will accelerate more, whether you will be able to brake on time? But then eventually, as you practiced, you felt more in control. First few days you were scared, but then eventually you felt more in control. Just like that, please feel more in control. Just tell yourself that no matter what happens, I'm going to be fine. Expecting the best outcome and truly taking that control in my hand, that no matter what the situation, whatever outcome I'm faced with, I will control it according to me. I will take charge of my own life. I will not let the situation control me, no matter what happens. So even if I lose my job today, I can take control and decide, okay, I have lost this job. This could be my next alternate path, and that will help me to think in a much better way. Because when we can distance ourselves from the problem, we can even see the solution in a much better perspective. So that brings me to the fifth point, which is having a purpose. My friends, this is a very, very important point, because when we have a purpose, so I was reminded of a rickshawala. Um, those cycle rickshaws in Delhi, Gurgaon, we have those cycle rickshaws. And once, when I was riding on one of the cycle rickshaws, this one man, I could see that he was in I could see he was breathing fast. He was very tired also. Probably he was. It was very, very hot, and during such times, it is. I'm sure it's very difficult for anyone. And as a person, as a passenger on his rickshaw, I was feeling that I was feeling pain for him basically. So I just voiced it. I said, "You work so hard, and even during this afternoon, thank you so much for transporting me from to wherever I want to go. But I really feel, I really appreciate your efforts, and I really feel hats off to you the way you are doing this." So he had such an amazing smile on his face. He's sweating all over. All his clothes are drenched in sweat. And he told me one very beautiful thing is, when you are working hard for your children and your family, when I go home at the end of the day, and if I'm able to carry a chocolate for my child, the smile that I get back from my children is priceless. I would do anything for them. So when we have a purpose, whether we are doing it for our own children, whether we are doing it for our loved ones, the society at large, and people are doing, we have such heartwarming stories of people. um, Yesterday I saw a video on WhatsApp. Of course, a lot of videos let us be very wise about what messages we spread and what messages we believe. But then there are some really heartwarming messages. In Gujarat, someplace, there are these women in the society. They make 10 rotis per house, and they have created a roti bank, which is so amazing. And the news, the reporter was reporting that some women, out of their own compassion, along with the rotis, they have put some money in it for whoever it reaches. So these women, they don't know to whom their rotis are going to reach. But can you see the heart? Isn't it so heartwarming when when people come up with such beautiful gestures of compassion? So I really feel when we have a purpose in our life, when we have a little higher purpose than our own selves, it really becomes a fuel to go on. It really helps us out of our own problems. Please try this. So, to sum it all up, I would just like to share this. Okay, so like initially I just said that what are the stages when you might need the doctor's help? Is if you're feeling tremendously sad and the sadness will not go no matter what you do at home, you must reach out to the doctor. If you are unnaturally angry or really scared beyond every measure, that after taking these steps also, your anxiety doesn't subside, if you're scared more than you understand, or something which is like beyond your control, and you are very timid and physically you are not willing to step out of the house, not meet people at all, please understand your family members need doctors support, and they do need some help from outside. So please take them to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, or someone who can help you with this. So that was the point I really wanted to make at the end of this video, because sometimes we do not take such things seriously. And let us not be bogged down by them, but let us take them seriously enough to treat them, instead of taking them lightly and treating this person that you're just being unnecessarily stupid. Let's not do that. So I'll just quickly brush up all the 5 points how to deal with anxiety. So the 5 life hacks to deal with anxiety are: first and foremost, face the anxiety. So whatever we resist, persists. Remember that. So, first and foremost, face it squarely. Second point is breathe. Just observe your breath and deep breathe for some time and see what is the level of your anxiety now, right? So just keep checking on your own self or your loved ones. Third point is expect the best outcome. Fourth point will be feel more in control. And the fifth point will be please have a purpose. When you have a purpose, then you can deal with your own anxiety and you can really overcome your anxiety. So, thank you so much. That was all for today. Please do let me know if you are liking these videos, if you're liking these life hacks. So, my next video will be out on Thursday, and that is going to be in Hindi. And please let me know if you're liking this. If you like, please like, share, and please hit that subscribe button down there. And also please press on that bell icon so that you get notified about my videos whenever they are uploaded. So, thank you very much. Until we meet again, please keep shining with loads of love and a sprinkle of stardust. Rohini. Thank you.